all rise and join me in the pledge of allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We now have roll call. Darlene Breckenridge here. Dennis M. Clark.
Here.
John R. Figer.
Here.
Ronnie Jack.
Here.
L. Corey Small. I will now entertain a motion to approve the minutes from the April 17, 2017 regular session.
So
Is there a second?
Second.
If there are no additions or corrections, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? 4 in favor, 0 opposed. The next item on the agenda is public participation. Before we get started, though, we have a couple of proclamations. One being Mental Health Month, and the second being National Day of Prayer. Barbara?
Mental Health Month 2017. Whereas mental health is essential to everyone's overall health and well-being, and whereas mental illnesses are real and prevalent in our nation, and half of us will have a mental health diagnosis at some point in our lives, and whereas all Americans experience times of difficulty and stress in their lives and should feel comfortable in seeking help and support to manage these times, and whereas engaging in preventions, early identification, and early intervention are as effective ways to reduce the burden of mental illnesses as they are to reduce the burden of other chronic conditions. And whereas there is a strong body of research that identifies behavioral health risks and supports specific tools that all Americans can use to protect their health and well-being. And whereas, with effective treatment before stage 4, all individuals with mental health illnesses, even serious mental illnesses, can make progress towards recovery and lead full, productive lives. And whereas, jails and prisons have often become the default places of custodial care for even nonviolent people with serious mental illnesses. And whereas, each business, school, government agency, healthcare provider, organization, and citizen has a responsibility to promote mental health and well-being for all. Now therefore be it resolved, I, Darlene Breckenridge, Mayor of the City of Cameron, Clinton, DeKalb, and Caldwell Counties, Missouri, do hereby proclaim May 2017 as Mental Health Month in Cameron, Missouri. And as mayor, I also call upon the citizens, government agencies, public and private institutions, businesses and schools in the city of Cameron to recommit our community to increasing awareness and understanding of mental health, the steps our citizens can take to protect their mental health, and the need for appropriate and accessible services for all people with mental illnesses at all stages, and especially before stage 4. And I believe there's someone here to accept this. Thank you. You're welcome. Did you want to get a picture?
Yeah, sorry.
Actually, let me get these up and then we'll look.
Thank you, ladies. Okay.
Thank you. Proclamation. Whereas the National Day of Prayer, calling for Cameron, Missouri to return back to God, and whereas the National Day of Prayer will be observed on the first Thursday of May each year, and whereas the theme for 2017 is, for your great name's sake, hear us, forgive us, heal us. And whereas individuals, corporately and individually, need to place their faith in the unfailing care character of their Creator, who is sovereign over all governments, authorities, and individuals. And whereas with one mind and one voice we may glorify God, and whereas there is power in prayer, we can find hope and comfort in the grace and guidance of the loving God. Now therefore I, Darlene Breckenridge, Mayor of the City of Cameron, Clinton, DeKalb, and Caldwell Counties, Missouri, hereby proclaim Thursday, the 4th day of May, 2017, as National Day of Prayer. I also encourage all citizens, residents, and visitors to join in observing this day and focusing upon the employment of reason, critical thought, scientific method, and free inquiry to the resolution of human problems and for the welfare of humankind. In witness whereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Cameron, Clinton, DeKalb, and Caldwell Counties, Missouri, to be herein affixed.
Please, here.
Okay.
All right, the next item is public participation. Anyone wishing to address the council, please step forward, state your name and address, and please put your contact information on the sign-in sheet on the podium. You will have 5 minutes to speak. Seeing none, we will now move to the city manager's report.
My first item is public works staffing. Just to let everyone know, we've been a little short on help, so some of the things will take a little longer to get done than what we'd like. We did have some absences of the work release program for a while. I think that we're getting that back, so that's a good thing. We rely pretty heavily on those people to help, so that's a big help. We're still short position in public works, which we have been for quite some time, but maybe 2. I'd have to go back and look. I'm sure at least 1, but anyway, it's a little better now, so hopefully that'll continue, and we'll be able to keep getting those people as needed. And we'll look at some other options as well. Projects, Elena Drive, a 48-inch metal drainage culvert tube that completely collapsed, causing the road to settle there. That work will be going on as weather allows, and it'll take a little while there, but we've been working with the businesses to keep them going, and method to not risk breaking that water line by shoring it, so might take a little longer that way, but it'll be a little safer. Drainage culvert pipes on South Orange are planned for replacement in the next few weeks. Orange Street will be closed a couple days for that work. That'll help the drainage here some. Don't know if it'll be a ultimate fix or permanent fix, but because we do need large box culverts there. But may help considerably if some other work is done as well along upstream with that possibly. So the sewer project, that's nearing completion, and I don't think the final's been done on that yet. Animal shelter bid date still May 4th. There was a couple addendums to that project, nothing major. Head Start facility, nothing new to report. It's going along fine as far as I know. There was a transition at Mocan, so there will be a little bit of a learning curve for someone, I'm sure, on that, but it's going okay so far. On development projects, we're working with business owners on Griffin 36 to create a CID. We've had the second meeting of that group, which starts the application process, and we're also working on TIF application and CID application for retail-oriented development. And we've had a few other things out there just possibly in the works that we're working on too. So that's all I have on the report.
Anybody have any questions or comments for Mark?
I
do have one more.
Mhm.
And I know you checked it out, I don't know, maybe a year ago, but they're on the corner of Prairie and Chestnut. That big drainage, there is water constantly running down the road into that. And it appears to be coming from the second house, kind of like a driveway. I don't care if it's a drought, I don't care if it's winter, I don't care what it is, there's water constantly running.
Okay. Let's see what we can find out.
Zach has his hand up.
It is a water leak on their service line, and we have been in contact with the property owner trying to get them to get it
Yeah,
fixed.
it's a lot.
We can, if it goes on so long, we can initiate the repair and charge it for it, but it depends on how much.
It's a lot of water.
Actually, I've just got a couple quick things. I just want to make sure that I'm understanding some things on the public works. I noticed here that we also advertised for the seasonal help and said that you hadn't had a lot of luck. Are we putting that on the website as well? Or is this just, okay.
And maybe that's, I don't know how long it's been out, it hasn't been out all that long.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
But yeah, in the past, we have not had much luck with seasonal help, getting enough people.
Okay. The other thing I noticed here, there might be an increase with the solid waste fund. Just want to make sure that before we start increasing and just throwing this out, that we're really taking a look at these increases. I just noticed a new $3 increase on my water bill, electric bill today that I was unaware of. So, I mean, we continue to get these additional fees. I just want to be real careful. It starts to add up pretty quickly. And then the last thing on this one is, if we're shorthanded, is this the same group that we're using out on the trails? The public works folks?
We're not using anybody right now.
But when we do, is this the same group? Because if it is, then we probably should not be using them and maybe just focus on using the work release folks or something like that. Because if we're shorthanded, I don't want to be taken away from stuff that needs to be done within the city to go out and focus on that.
Well, they're not, they're not doing trail work or recycling. It's not.
Okay. And then lastly, with the animal shelter, I've done quite a bit of research on this, and I've realized that I don't have everything that the state or federal is going to require for this. But I have done some looks into the actual buildings, so on and so forth, and actually talked to a gentleman that had something built. He spent $48,000 for the same size facility, 40 by 60. He did additional concrete work, which was, he did 6-inch. Again, I'm not sure what our requirements would be, but I just want to throw these out. He did additional beams, in other words, they were closer than requirements. Electric has been run out to his property. He's got a covered lean-to, 3 extra large doors, and I realize we're not going to need that, but those were extra expenses. And then he just did some additional stuff to spruce it up and make it look nicer. No water, no insulation. So my question is, how can something cost $200,000 more? I know there's regulations, but that is a huge difference to me, and I can't wrap my head around that much of a difference.
Yeah. Animal shelters are running probably twice what a commercial building is running.
Well, that would be $100,000 at what he did, and that's where, because it's the exact same size. 'cause
No,
it's
about
24.
$200 a square foot, 2 to 250 is what the architects are saying you put in your, that's what you budget for. $250 a square foot, so if you got,
2,400 times 2 is what?
I should be able to do that in my head, but
480.
600,000, so it'll run 4 to 600,000 would be a budget number for 40 by 60. that'd be great.
Well, and maybe that's what I need. I would like to get the specs. I haven't seen them, and, you know, at this point, that'll work. So if you give me those specs, or if someone has the specs or something, I'd like to see them. Because $200,000 is a lot of money for specs.
I do have one in my office.
Thank you. I will, thank you very much.
Anyone
That's
else? Anyone else?
Regarding the solid waste fund is, it won't be necessary to do that unless we have increased costs for recycling pickup, so if we don't have to do that. But we do, we may have to tweak that revenue source down the road, and we're trying to see if we can avoid doing that. But you weren't on the council at the time, but the ones who were remember, we had a higher than necessary fund balance for solid waste because we didn't have any capital anticipated or anything like that that was needed. So we were gonna let that, instead of, as our costs were increasing, we did not raise the rates. We let that balance drop some. Once that balance gets to a point we think is a good balance, then we'll just leave it. If we can't get that down by reducing expenses, then we'll have to tweak the rates. It'll be very, very small increase, just to keep the fund balance from dropping any further.
I'll also add to that, I believe at the time I was on the solid waste committee, but the prices we're getting is significantly lower than all of our other bids. So, I mean, we're not beating the citizens up. We're doing everything we can to keep the prices as low as we can, as long as we can, but this is the reality of life. And,
We have excellent services as far as what we provide for the money. So.
Anyone else?
Yes, Mark, is Zach here?
Oh, yes?
There you are. Do you want to talk about the $3 fee?
Yeah, I guess my question is what, I'm not sure
Yeah,
what,
we were, yeah.
I'm not sure what that,
Is it the annual fee that the state mandates we charge?
there's a primacy fee,
There is a primacy fee.
That was all.
Has nothing to do with the city. We have to
Yeah.
do that.
that's,
What's
that's,
your-
There was one on the other
It's
end.
annual.
Just one.
There's two.
there's two, there's one for water, one for sewer, and we split them up, so it's, yeah, it's every year. 2 times a year, you get that
It's
additional
called
fee
primacy fee.
for the state of Missouri.
Okay, I just want to make sure it wasn't a monthly fee, because I was out of the blue today, I'm like, whoa, another fee.
It's an annual.
Okay, we're gonna now move to unfinished business. I will entertain a motion to pass resolution 2017-9 on a third reading by roll call. Do I hear a second?
Need a,
Or a
first.
motion?
I need to read it first. Bill 2017-9, an ordinance changing the reference to the International Building Code 2015 and the National Electric Code 2017 in Section 3-16A, Section 3-16.1, 3-16.2, 3-16.3, 3-16.4, Article 2, Buildings, Section 3-81, Article 3, Plumbing Code, Section 3-101, Article 4, Electrical Code, Section 3-121, Article 5, Fire Prevention Code, Section 3-141, Article 6, Existing Structures Code, 3-201, Article 9, Property Maintenance Code of the City Code for the City of Cameron, Clinton, DeKalb, and Caldwell Counties, Missouri, and deleting reference to prior building codes. I wrote that in there, actually.
Okay, now I will entertain a motion to pass Bill 2017-9 on a third reading by roll call.
So moved. Second.
Discussion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye. All opposed?
It's roll call.
Oh, sorry. I was on the roll there.
Darlene Rutledge.
Yes.
Dennis M. Clark.
yes.
John R. Byers.
Yes.
Ronnie Jack.
Yes.
Corey Sloan.
Okay, the next item is the electric rate discussion.
In your packet, you had a report from Zach on that, and I don't have anything to add as far as, when the committee met, they recommended leaving everything as is, and that would be the staff's recommendation as well.
Well, I
I'm wondering if we should just go ahead and table this till he's back.
Could do that.
So I make a motion to table it.
Is there a second? Seeing as there's no second on this, the discussion is. I don't think I can second, can I? Can I second?
You can second. You're technically a council member still.
Okay. I second it then.
You need to vote
Okay.
for discussion.
Is there any discussion?
Like I said, since Courtney's the one asking for it, he's down trying to make sure that people are safe. I think it's only fair that he gets a chance to ask any additional questions that he might have, so that's why I would suggest we table it.
I agree with you. I mean, just get the facts straight, if nothing else. Don't think it hurts to table it and bring it up when he's here. Well, all those in favor of tabling it?
Aye.
Those opposed? There's two in favor, two abstentions.
I'm fine.
Tony? Okay, 4 in favor, 0 opposed, table. We'll now move to new business. We need resolution 2017-10, Barbara.
Resolution 2017-10, a resolution for the city of Cameron, Clinton, DeKalb, and Caldwell counties, Missouri, approving budget adjustment 3 for the budget year of October 1, 2016 to September 30, 2017.
I will entertain a motion to pass resolution 2017-10. Is there a second?
Sorry.
Who made the motion? Who made the motion?
Yes.
First motion.
No, nobody made a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Do I hear a second? You made a motion.
I'll second.
You seconded it.
Discussion? Discussion?
This is normal housekeeping.
On the budget adjustment, yeah, the biggest item was the COP proceeds for the wastewater. All, I think all the lines of revenues were higher than the expenses. I don't think we did any transfers or reserve transfers, which we will. We'll have some coming this down the road, but I don't think there are any on this one.
Seeing as there's no discussion, we'll go ahead and vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? 4 in favor, 0 opposed. Now come for liquor license renewal.
This is our annual liquor license renewal, and it is short 2 licenses. I'm still waiting on the application from Nels Restaurant and from Jones Travel Mart. They have until the end of May the end of June. We just try and do it early enough that they can get their state license, because they have to have a city license before a state license, and we say they have to have a state license before a city license, so we kind of run in circles on it. But all of them have paid their fees and submitted all the proper paperwork, including background checks. And you can approve them as a whole or individually. It will be up to you by motion or vote.
Do I hear a motion to accept the license renewal applications as a whole?
Second.
It's moved and seconded. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Seeing none, we'll move on to miscellaneous. Barbara?
I want to thank Councilmember Fider for meeting with the motorcycle group and presenting their letter.
You're welcome.
Jenny?
I have nothing.
John?
I don't think that I have anything at this time. Thank you.
Ronnie?
Nothing.
Fire chief?
No.
Paul?
No.
Okay. Zach, nothing?
No, ma'am.
Water department, anything? You back to the general? Council?
Nope.
I don't have anything. I would like to thank council for putting on a presentation for the 353 redevelopment plan. It was very informative. I just want to say thank you for doing that.
Technically,
Uh-huh.
Aces for Aiden, the McVicker Foundation has their annual golf event this weekend, the 5th and 6th. So, actually, a little surprised he's not here. But anyway, so if you can get out,